and people start thinking about it a little more in their 30s. But that's when you're going to make all your money. But if you gave me $30 million and gave me 20 years to invest it, or if you retired right now, you'd need about $3 million to retire comfortably. Now, in 20 years from now, you might need 6. But if you took 3, I could get you real close to 6 in 20 years if you were smart with it. You know what I mean? So for him to not come back, and once you get $100 million sitting in the bank, I'm sure it's very easy to to invest that wisely and make $1 million a year. But you're talking about another cool 3 for 2 months of work, and nobody can pass that up, man. I mean, you're doing a disservice to future generations of your family if you're at his age. He's not anywhere close to being punch drunk and causing his health problems for the deal. The guy's in great shape and he's young. You fight several more times now. If you get to a point where you got something to. And another thing too, man, is these guys, they're obsessed, man. The type of brain that athletes have, they're obsessed with this with competition. So what are you gonna do, man? Are you gonna go fucking sit on the couch and start eating Cheetos? Nah, dude. I mean, a guy like him can't go not do anything. Of course, he'll come back, man, and for nothing else, for the love of the fame, dude. I mean, if you retire off into the sunset, man, your star diminishes. The brightness of your star diminishes unless you're in there doing what you got your God-given abilities to do, and this is a calling in life. I don't think there's any doubt about that at all. Dana White called him the unicorn. He comes back, dude. You got to come back.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in there and I was glad Kevin got to that last point about him appreciating the attention and the stardom. That's something I don't think Conor McGregor can ever abandon. I think that he just enjoys that far too much. Kevin and I are both business owners, so we definitely understand the financial stances here. Like Conor McGregor, of course money's a motivator for Conor. That's for sure. But I was really glad Kevin got to that last point because that's 100% accurate. He's not just going to ride off into the sunset and act like, okay, I did my boxing match. I made this huge, massive spectacle. Nobody's ever going to hear from me again. Nah, that's not going to happen. He loves competition. He loves being a star, and he truly embraces it, and he's going to continue to do so.
Fair points, guys. Let's move on. At @_Mikey188 tweeted to say, I think we answered this earlier, but hey, Kevin Jones, what are the odds for this fight? Who am I sticking the mortgage on?
Yeah, went through it. I'll run down it again real quick. Minus 550 at the moment on Floyd. What's happening with this line, and I'm going to be honest with you, man, this line should be at 20-1. So if you can get it at 450, now, if you got a book that you can, that'll vouch for you on some money, max out. And if you got expendable money, you got money in the shoebox sitting around, and I know down there in England, you can like take it down to the corner and, put a bet. That's my understanding. I mean, maybe this is a pipe dream of mine. But, yes, walk down to the corner next to the 7-Eleven, wherever you could put a bet in public. Go empty all your expendable money and put it on him. What's going to happen right before this fight, there's sharks out in Vegas that are doing the same thing that you're doing with the money. They have to have this money up front. They want to maximize their profit on this fight, so they're going to wait until they think this line's at its absolute lowest. They'll have a little inside knowledge of when these folks are going to move the line. All that's moved this line is massive amounts of small bets on Conor McGregor, and they drove it down from I can't remember if it opened at 9-1 or 7-1, but it's down to 4.5. So you want the sure thing. It opened at
7-1, Kevin.
They opened 7. Sure thing. Put your money on Mayweather minus 450. Bet I really like is Floyd by KO. I checked it. I think it's at minus 175 right now. You take KO or disqualification. I think that's a very solid bet. I just don't see McGregor lasting the distance on this deal. I know people that like the over-under at 9.5, and I also think that's a great bet to take under 9.5, and that'll take your dog out of the fight. You don't have to, if you're a McGregor fan, he's going to, like Derek said, he ain't beating him on points. If he wins, he's going to stop him. So you can bet your money at under 9.5 rounds, and I'm not sure what that's sitting at right now, but even if you had like 3-1 on that, bet that. And so those are my favorite picks for the fight. I'm also going out on a limb, putting a small value bet, as they call them, on the 4th round at plus 1,400 right now. So, a $20 bet's going to net me, would that be $280? That's good enough in my book to make a little play with it. There are some people that like to bet Conor McGregor. If you do like to bet Conor McGregor, reiterating what Derek Bowe had said, you can get him at by knockout at plus 900 right now, and we're talking about at by only knockout, TKO and TKO and DQ are not going to be included at that 9-1 price. But the thing is, I mean, it's not going to get stopped on a TKO if Conor wins. He'll knock him cold the fuck out. So if you want to place a little value bet and have some fun with it, that's where you want to put that fun money at. But I would not advise. It's like if someone told me they couldn't pass up those odds. I said, dude, it's always easy for me to pass up odds on a losing wager. So keep that in mind if you're going to make a play on Conor McGregor. Have fun with it. Don't expect to get any money back.
There you go, Mickey. I hope that's answered your question, mate. Let's move on to Facebook then. Spencer Steele message to say, I don't get it. Paulie is a trash boxer even in his prime. He lost to every name he fought, and almost all of them by TKO or KO, other than Zab Judah, is it? Who was at the end? Zab Judah, who was at the end of his career. He hasn't beaten anyone. On top of that, Paulie wasn't even training before the spar and is shorter and smaller. Conor still looked good nonetheless, but the fact that people even think Paulie is anything is laughable.
Zab Judah was way on the end of his second career, and Zab Judah was never a welterweight, never a true welterweight. I would, if I was on the radio right now, I'd give Paulie Malignaggi a little bit more credit than that, maybe. But I like the guy's sentiment. You can't say a guy that was two-time world champion in two different weight classes was trash, but fuck Paulie Malignaggi. And
brag about taking my side piece. Don't brag about taking my side piece, though. That's my side piece. You don't get lazy.
All right.
He was like the original fucking Jersey Shore. Like the haircut.
He was
rocking that haircut years before them other guys were doing it. He was ahead of the curve, and now he's trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I've always heard that a guy that looks and Derek's blonde haired dude, man. I've always heard a dude that doesn't look like that. I've heard that everybody out there looks like that. Black hair, brown eyes, and got that Italian ancestry. I've heard if you go out to New Jersey and you look and you talk like me or Derek, so you'll get tons of fucking wool because everybody out there looks the same and they're all trying to do that fucking Jersey Shore thing.
Oh man, I don't stand a chance then. My pale Scottish body's just not going to cut the mustard.
He's boxing's biggest bitch.
Well, I as far as the fact of why I'll touch on why they even brought Paulie Malignaggi into the camp is because he's crafty, and that's something that Conor McGregor need to experience. Somebody who's smart in the cage, in the ring. Somebody who understands the rules in the boxing and actually bends the rules of boxing in a crafty manner, and that's something that Conor McGregor's never experienced. He didn't need a superior athlete. He didn't need somebody who was going to test him boxing skills wise. He needed somebody who was going to teach him the ins and outs of boxing, and that's something where Paulie Malignaggi has excelled throughout his career. And so that's part of the reason why they brought him into camp. As far as Paulie Malignaggi getting really touched up, yeah, you can see it in his face. Sure, there's scar tissue that builds up, and some people cut easier, some people show wear a lot easier than others. But there's something to be said when you're wearing headgear and your eyes busted up. Just saying.
No doubt.
Fair enough.
I think
carry on, mate.
Another reason they brought Paulie in, man, is because of the shit that he talked several months before this deal, man. In one of those All Access, Conor mentioned it, that this guy's talking shit and thinks he can whoop me. Bring him in and let's show him what's up. So I think there was a little bit of a setup on the part of McGregor's camp to rile up Malignaggi. And if there was a guy you wanted to rile up, that's the guy. We got a ton of free publicity out of this deal, and people at a point a couple weeks out from the fight where people were there was a lull in the action, they weren't talking about it as much. Paulie Malignaggi crying on the internet made them talk about it.
That's true.
So I think mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, ignorant guys like me who, like I said at the top of the show, my love for boxing was when I was a little kid. Now all of a sudden I'm like, well, who is this guy? I should probably check out his fights. Of course, the first thing I see besides his rant with Conor McGregor was don't touch my side piece, or whatever the fuck the thing was he said. But you know what I mean? Like, I would have never heard of this guy before, so I guess it is PR, it is publicity. Let's move on. Daniel Lee messages to say, Conor has been saying IQ is on my side going into this fight, and Floyd can't even spell IQ. But seriously, I think this fight will finish inside the first 2 rounds. Conor will catch him where others have failed.
Yeah, you know what? I think that the IQ does play into it. And it's kind of like the prediction that I was making is I don't think Conor's going to get sucked into the game plan of all the other boxers before Floyd. I think Conor does see things on a different level than other fighters, and that's parlayed into the reason why he's had success. I think that he's not going to headhunt because he knows Floyd's a master at that. Why would he attack something that Floyd does so much better than anybody else and put himself in the same quicksand that every other boxer that's tried to beat up Floyd has? They all come at him aggressively. They all headhunt. None of them dig to the body properly. It's all with power punches. They tire themselves out. They get drawn into the clinch. So many things that Floyd does is not based on his boxing ability, but it's based on his intellect, where he's an incredibly intelligent fighter. And obviously he has more boxing smarts than Conor McGregor. It is going to be Conor's intellect in general that's going to give him the advantage in this fight, because he's not going to approach this the same way that other boxers are.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw a couple numbers out at you, or maybe, some facts, man. Conor IQ might be high in the cage, man, but if you talk to any fighter, whether they're fighting MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, or boxing, they'll tell you 101 going into this deal is the guy who makes you fight his fight is the guy that's going to win the fight. Floyd's a master at that. We're talking gold medalist, amateur pedigree. Gold medalist. Let's say that again, man. United States of America, gold medalist in the Olympics. Not a lot of people can say that. 49-0. 48 people he's fought, and they have not been able to figure out how to make Floyd fight their fight. Conor's not going to be any different. We're talking about a guy with 0 fights, man. I mean, this is not a, rocket science. This is not a stretch, man. So the IQ, yeah, man. I mean, okay, let's talk about one other thing, man. I mean, IQ, Conor doesn't have it inside the squared circle, man. Period, point blank. Now, Floyd does, and what Floyd also has is, which has been upplayed in the later parts of his career, but is really lost and not mentioned near enough, is the work ethic that he has. You have fighters that have. I actually had Orlin Norris come on the show with me this morning. Orlin Norris is one of the best cruiserweights of all time. He's from Lubbock, Texas. His brother Terry is number 1 or number 2 all time at 140 pounds. The Norris brothers were legendary for their sparring tactics. Right. And we got Orlin coming on the show this morning. Now I started thinking how super nice the dude was, and I kind of forget my point. But I mean, the work ethic that Floyd Mayweather has, he has the God-given ability. Guys that don't have the God-given ability, they have to work harder. You're talking about like the Rudies of the world, man. They don't have it. They work harder to compensate for it. Mm-hmm. Floyd has the God-given ability, and the experience gives him that ring IQ. And above all else, he has the work ethic of somebody that has 0 ability. He works his ass off in the gym and prepares for these fights. Don't be fooled by watching All Access and thinking this guy's hanging out at titty bars all night. Floyd's the type of madman that fucking will just, in the middle of the night after the titty bar closes at 6 a.m., said, fuck it, call up the crew. We're getting a fucking 3-hour working in right now. You know what I mean? He's that type of driven personality. You have to have that. Both of these guys do, and you have to have it to excel in athletics at the point that they're excelling at. You gotta damn near have both. So the fact that he's been doing that so long in this sport, that's and Conor has a ring IQ when he's fighting a bunch of other guys that fight MMA, and not trying to disrespect it, but it's apples to oranges comparison, and it is totally different than fighting 36 minutes in a world championship boxing match. Floyd's done it repeatedly and beat future Hall of Famers. Now, how the fuck is Conor McGregor going to match up to that?
Conor Machapo. Conor, did you quit, you little bitch? Yes.
Well, let me jump in there real quick. And part of the reason why is because it's something that you just said. So, you said that you have to have the God-given ability and the athletic ability. And I don't think any of Floyd's opponents outside of Zab Judah have been that. They've all been good technical boxers. And I say that they are not good athletes. They are not explosive athletes. They are technical boxers, and that's about it. So there's been nobody to match Floyd Mayweather on an athletic level, not even close, because Floyd Mayweather is an elite athlete. Kevin is right about that. He absolutely 100% does have that God-given ability. I also believe Conor McGregor has that athletic ability as well. So he's going to match Floyd in a place that Floyd has never been matched before. Floyd is more technical than the technical boxers, and he's more athletic than those technical boxers as well.
Sure, he's more technical than Conor McGregor in the boxing realm, but I think Conor McGregor is more athletic than Floyd Mayweather, and I think those fast twitch muscles are going to play big dividends in this fight.
Derek, I love you. I want to just throw some names at you, man. Manny Pacquiao,